So, it's been a while. Hi guys, Andre Thompson here. Welcome back to my channel. And it has happened. As you can see, I am underneath my nice mango tree. I'm going to use this analogy, so bear with me. I remember in 2015, was it 2015? Yeah, 2015 in October, a manager called Jurgen Klopp entered the fray. He was hired and he said, and I'm quoting, that I want us to be doubters to believers, because I think I'm the normal one. Fast forward into 2018, 2019, we were in a Premier League title. We didn't win, and we ended up second, but we won the Champions League. The following year, we won the league, and then 2 years after, we won the cup. We won 2 cups, and its success has continued. But you know the most important thing? This analogy right here. Once you plant a seed and it is watered well enough, success has to grow. That seed now becomes a tree, a nice mango tree. And with mango trees, if it does not bear mango, it means that it's dying. Jurgen Klopp has planted a seed for Liverpool. Blood, sweat, tears, criticisms, critiques, arguments, disgruntlement amongst fans, and to see this happening today, not only because of Arne Slot, but because of the work that Jurgen. By the way, I'll get to my point as to what I'm trying to say. It's kind of out. It's like an out of body experience for me, because growing up as a Liverpool fan, I've never seen them win the Premier League until COVID time, and I've never seen a Premier League trophy being lifted at the end of a 38 game season at Anfield. Mind you, I haven't been to Anfield yet. I hope to go. But to see today that my team won, and won convincingly, 5-1, I feel so proud. It feels different. I can't take this moment at all for granted. And I think as Liverpool fans across the world, we can't take this moment for granted, because we don't know. 30 odd years ago, 35 years ago to be exact, was the last time that Liverpool lifted a trophy. Lifted their trophy, or won in front of their supporters and lifted the trophy there. And so 35 years later, to know that this is the first time that it's happening, it's kind of mind-blowing, but it's also something to be very proud of, to be so humble about. And I want to bring 2 points as to why Liverpool won, and as to what really caused this. What really caused Liverpool to be as great as they are. So the first thing is consistency. Consistency in terms of their way of playing, consistency in terms of how they addressed each competition, consistency in terms of team fluidity, consistency also in terms of what it meant for them going into the season. Now, mind you, even me, I did not really have Liverpool winning the league, because it was a transition, moving from Jurgen Klopp to Arne Slot, and he was an unknown commodity. Jurgen Klopp is such a huge character, so we didn't know what we were getting. And then it happened that from game week, I think 9 or 10, we have been leading straight up to now, straight up to 38. That's what, 29, 28 games of just being on top. And the consistency, competing in 4 competitions, competing in the Carabao Cup, competing in the Champions League in the new format with playing 8 games, competing in the FA Cup, and then also competing in the league. As a new manager, I think that is probably overwhelming. And Arne Slot took it upon himself, said that, hey, I'm not doing much. I'm not going to make huge changes. I believe in this team. I believe in what they can do. Last season they came close, so why do I need to really change anything? And you saw his blueprint, his handprint on that team. There were times where this team wanted to play like Jurgen Klopp, but Arne Slot reined them in and just said, let's be a little bit more consistent in how we play. Let's be consistent in what we do, and let us adapt to each game accordingly. I posted a video saying, is he the best manager in the world? And why he was or is the best manager in the world, and I outlined the various points, and one was adaptability. His ability to adapt to each game is something that goes under the rug. There are games where you can play gung-ho, like in the Tottenham game where they won 6-3, and there are times where they can play very conservative and win 2-0 at City and win 2-0 at home to City and in the Champions League. And there are games where they can pass it to death and having 60-something% possession or 70-odd% of possession. That's a DNA of a champion, being able to adapt to your opponent. No, of course, the narrative is going to be, Arsenal. Oh, look. I told you. So the reason persons are going to say, Rodri was out, Saka was out. That's not our fault. We can only control what we are able to do with our games. Do we feel bad that you got injuries, so many injuries? Possibly, but you need to look at as to why you got so many injuries. Is it a case where you overplayed players? And there were times, of course, where the hamstring had to go. Soft muscle issues. And that happens once you play a lot of games and not rotate as much. But that's not our fault. And so the narratives are going to come in because Rodri wasn't there. And we don't care. We had 13 injuries last year into March, and we did not say, it's because we had 13 persons out of the 39 were starting players. No, we were still there, 2 points behind Arsenal. But we were consistent. And this Liverpool were consistent throughout the entire season. Now they had wobbles, of course. Some narratives are going to use a comparison in terms of, are they as good as the previous Liverpool team? They didn't dominate as how Liverpool that won 99 points, or the Liverpool that got 92, or the Liverpool that got 98 or 97 that came second to City. It doesn't feel like that in terms of how they dominate games. But the truth is, you don't need to be like that in order to win the league. You just need to win your games. No one's going to look at the team as to how they played, or going to put an asterisk beside it because of what has happened with other opponents. No, you win the games that you need to. And I thought Liverpool did that very well in being consistent. Wobbles in the Champions League, losing to PSG, losing in the Carabao Cup final to Newcastle. Of course, that comes with it. But they won regardless. They won. The loss to Fulham maybe have put a little doubt in their mind, but that was their second loss in 24 games in the league. But they won. And so consistency, I think this team was very consistent in how they played, how they adapted. And the second point really is control. How they controlled games showed the DNA as to how Arne Slot wanted his team to play this season, and how he wants his team to play throughout his tenure at Liverpool. Control. It's hard to do that in the Premier League because it's very dynamic, very quick, very powerful. It's physical. But if you're able to control the game to how you want it more often than not, the high percentage of you winning that game is going to, or the high percentage of that happening leads to you winning the game. That's how football is. So yes, you can dominate as much as you want, but the control not only in terms of possession, but control in terms of limiting the opposition to the expected goals to be less than 1. This season they've drastically changed defensively compared to last season, where they were just open up. The entire middle of the field now has become a fortress in a sense. You see in terms of where they want teams to play, in terms of the press, in terms of how they press, but controlling games, I think, showed how Liverpool wanted to win. And now the sun is out. Ain't that great? But this is just my little seance on it. If you like this, you let me know. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Let's have a conversation. I do apologize for being so late or not posting for a while. Personal issues. But just want to let you guys know I still love you. God love you. And so, Liverpool, hand it over to you. Can we do it back to back? That is a question. Now, with changes coming in, that's a totally different topic, and definitely I will cover in that. But let's just enjoy this moment. Okay, you'll never walk alone. LFC. Till next time. Bye-bye.